Hi everybody, Russ from westham. Hope you are all safe and well. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon so you're made aware when we put new content on. As always, I'd like to thank our lovely channel sponsors, Untuck It. Check them out in the description below. So another episode, another episode of the Noble Era. Getting loads of nice comments about it. It's fantastic. Please, if you have any suggestions, we are going to do, someone suggested doing an academy one as well. So once maybe we've done all of the letters, maybe we'll do some subsections and group some academy. So not necessarily sort of list them one after the other, but maybe do some stats. Do some stats and stuff like that. Any other suggestions? Let me know. So we have had A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, can you guess what episode is today? I bet you can't, because actually we're going to combine fusion letters. I've been doing this for like a year now. Letters G and letters H. Part of the reason is there's only 3 G's. There's only 3 G's at West Ham. So we'll do G's and H's together. Just combine it a little bit. Sometimes we'll combine them together if it makes more sense, rather than me put out like a 1-minute video. By the time I edited it, what's the point? So put G and H together. So currently we are on how many players we're on, oh god, and again I'm such an idiot. We're on 85 players. 85 players currently who have played for Mark Noble, not played for Mark Noble, but have played with Mark at West Ham. So we're going to start with G's and H's together. And there's some good players. There's some players alphabetically as well, which just work as well from one end of a scale to the other. We'll get through them as well. First player, top of the pile. God damn, my nose. Hay fever now. The sun's come out. That's the trouble. Sun's come out. I get hay fever now. First player. Hopefully we'll get him on the channel very, very soon. 113 appearances for the club. No goals. Didn't score for the club, but he was integral to West Ham in that sort of early to mid 2000s. It's Danny Gabardon. God bless Danny Gabardon. So Danny played over 100 games for the club, 113 first team appearances, as I said. Again, one of the guys who should have played a lot more, but injuries and stuff unfortunately took their toll with him. Loved the fact in the first lockdown that he was doing his DJ sets in his loft. So hopefully I'll talk to him about that soon. But Danny Gabardon, top of the pile. You're in, Gabs. Number 86. I forgot the number already. Next one. A guy who ended up playing 10. He made 10 first team appearances for the club, and in essence cost Manuel Pellegrini his job. It's our Spanish keeper. God bless him. I don't think he's not with us anymore now on the books now, is he? Was Alves? I think he's still there now, but I think he's permanently there. It's Roberto Jimenez Gago. So he's obviously a G. He's not a G in that respect. He's in a peach sense. He's not a G. His surname's a letter G. That will go over many people who aren't with it with the kids. So that's why. So Roberto's in. Move on from one end of not the sublime to the super. Yeah, no, the other way around. From the ridiculous to the sublime. Another goalkeeper with G in his surname. 241 appearances for the club. He's one of the most selected goalkeepers in my Hammers 11. Robert Green, wonky finger himself. So 241 appearances for the club. Solid, fantastic keeper for us in his time at West Ham. Obviously ravaged by the fact that he made that one mistake for England against the USA. So anyone outside of West Ham sort of didn't realise how much of a good keeper he was, but he was absolutely solid for us. Now let's move into the H's. First one, possibly the longest name we've got here, Said Haspanovic. He only made two first team appearances for the club. And yeah, I can't really say much about Said, to be honest. I was quite excited when we signed him, because you always get excited when you sign a foreign-based young player, because you assume there was a number of sort of times they've gone to see him and stuff, because it's not like someone down Hackney Marshes. They've gone abroad to find this guy, and I mean, now he's got his pick of, if if rumours are meant to be believed, the pick of Europe, want to sign him now for some reason. So Saeed is number 89. Next one, another youth team player who never really kicked it on at West Ham, but he scored everywhere he's been. It's Robert Hall. He only made 7 first team appearances for the club, but he's scored at Oxford and Bolton, and wherever he's gone, he's scored goals, and he's made a great career out for himself by dropping into the lower leagues, and that happens quite a lot. We've interviewed a lot of players a lot of youth team players. I'm thinking people like Lee Hodges and Izzy and Adam Newton, and they took the decision to leave West Ham, drop down division, and have a professional career in the lower leagues. And they could have stayed at West Ham, but they moved on and forged a career for them, which is very commendable. Next one, 54 appearances for the club, 14 goals. Could never play in the right formation for him. It's Sebastian Haller. So Seb said 54 appearances, 14 goals. Again, was so excited when we signed him, but it just didn't work, did it? Didn't work for him. And now he's obviously typically tearing up in Ajax by the sounds of it. Next one, from sort of someone who we bought, who never fitted into someone who fitted in perfectly for West Ham. He was a striker who made 161 appearances for the club, scored 56 goals. Hopefully he's on the channel soon. Just he's incredibly busy, delivering all his cars all the time. It's Marlon Harewood. It's Mazza himself. Top man, top boy. I loved Marlon. Absolutely loved him. I love the fact where my box was at the sort of the announcers box was at Upton Park, between sort of the Bobby Moore sort of and whatever it was called, the Alpari Betway, whatever you call it, Dr. Martin stand, whatever it's called that season, where it was in the sort of intersection just above the just below the scoreboard. That I called that Harewood corner, because that was the corner that Marlon would always bring the ball in there and do a trick and then go along the byline. Always would do it. And obviously, I still close my eyes and I can see Marlon with one leg, bless him, FA Cup final, and he just swung it was the wrong leg that wasn't working. And he could have scored and we would have won the FA Cup. But top boy and a massive, still loves the club, which is great. So it's funny, isn't it, how that sort of alphabetically things have worked quite nicely here. Next one, 23 appearances for the club, didn't score because he was a goalkeeper. Joe Hart. And again, Joe Hart, wherever he's gone, bless him, in the last 4 or 5 moves, it just hasn't worked out for him. He's still a good keeper. It shows you how much confidence means to some people. But yeah, Joe was player 93. Next one, another goalkeeper. Only made 2 appearances for the club. Stephen Henderson. I think Stephen again went to Portsmouth and made a bit of a career out of moving to Portsmouth and played a lot of games there, I believe. I think he was blighted with injury as well, and obviously sort of a number 2, number 3, and was never going to sort of push. There's a lot of goalkeepers here. I'm just looking. There's a lot of goalkeepers here. We've had Roberto, Robert Green. We've had Joe Hart. Had Stephen Henderson. There's another goalkeeper coming at the end, which we'll talk about in a bit. So that was Stephen Henderson. Next player. He played 63 times for the club, scored 17 goals. Thought he was going to be the true successor to Tony Cottee, but never kicked on. Again, played him out of position in my opinion. Javier Hernandez. Oh, Chicharito. Again, there's so many players you go through and you're so excited when they signed. Same as Haller. I was so excited when we sent Chicharito. He was the guy we needed. He was this 20-goal a season striker that we hadn't had for years, since Hartson, really. And I mean, when he played, he scored usually. He was just had this instinct. But I think his sort of position in terms of that sort of fox in the box, sort of Cottee, Defoe type role is a bit redundant now in modern football. Do you know what I mean? You don't get many of those, not goal hangers. That's no disrespect to any of them, but guys who sort of stay in the box and sort of pick up the scraps. They're usually forwards and drop off and pick the ball up and get integrated with play. But yeah, Javier. Obviously, he's at LA Galaxy at the moment. Next one, still involved in the club. We've had him on the channel. He is a wonderful, beautiful man, Zavon Hines, 31 goals, 31 goals, 3 appearances. No, that'd be a great return on investment, wouldn't it? 10 goals a game. No, 31 appearances, 3 goals, including Millwall. Including that cup game which he scored and obviously dedicated it to Jack. Obviously, his dad had passed a week or so before, and Jack was playing that game, and he'd always thank him for that. Obviously, we've had Jack and Zavon, but Zavon's top boy, and the fact that he's still involved in the club, I love. I love the fact every age group has a player attached to it. Just gives you that sort of continuity, that sort of boot room type, feeling about the team and the backroom staff at the moment. So that's Zavon. Next one. Again, we've had this guy on the channel as well. Didn't score, but he played 157 times for the club. Again, because the goalkeeper. It's Shaka Hislop, the boomerang himself. He went and came back. I love Shaka. He was a fantastic goalkeeper. I have a personal connection with him, as he was always shopping in Safeways in Loughton on a Friday for his big shop, and you'd see his head because he was so tall, and he's the loveliest man in the world. Obviously, we've had him on the channel. He was sweating buckets because his AC had broken. He's obviously currently living in the East Coast of America, doing all the stuff for ESPN, and brilliant man. Loved his time at West Ham. He seemed to have sort of, fair enough, he has sort of split loyalties between West Ham and Newcastle, and possibly Reading as well. But I think when we interviewed him, I think he had a West Ham shirt on, but he had a Newcastle emblem on the wall behind him. So it was sort of like, yin and yang. But Shaka is phenomenal. I love Shaka. And again, part of that crazy period, obviously, famously, obviously, Stephen Bywater made his debut because Shaka broke his leg at that 5-4 in Bradford, and that just epitomised the whole West Ham era at that time, that Redknapp era. But Shaka is player 97, player 98, 13 appearances, 3 goals. Wish he'd played a lot more, but he was injured quite a lot. But when he played, he was brilliant. It was our own German, Der Hammer, Thomas Hitzelsberger. I thought he was brilliant. I love Thomas Hitzelsberger. And Thomas Hitzelsberger brings me my greatest ever memory of working at West Ham. I've mentioned it a few times, but it's mainly to do with Martin Allen, but it's partly because of Thomas Hitzelsberger. So this was a few years ago. Hitzelsberger, he scored one of his 3 goals in the first half for West Ham. I can't remember who the team was, but it was an absolute belter. A proper Der Hammer into the top corner. Half time, we roll out Martin Allen, Mad Dog, friend of the channel, and Jeremy. And I say roll because we literally did roll him out. To be fair, I think it's fair to say he was enjoying the pre-match hospitality. Let's just say that. And Jeremy interviewed him, and he said to him, so Martin, obviously first half, great goal from Thomas Hitzelsberger. The fans love him. And then Martin took to the mic and said, yes, Jeremy, which does surprise me because the last time a German came to East London, he bombed the place. Then he proceeded to go and tell Jeremy that he supported Tottenham or something like that, or something. He's in one. So yes, so Thomas Hitzelsberger, fantastic advocate for the game. Being a openly gay footballer as well. I think he was brilliant, and a shame he never played as much because obviously he was a great player. At Villa, he was fantastic as well. So he is number 98. Do we get to 100? Yeah, we do today. Next one. A youth team player who keeps going out on loan. He's never gets a break, and then when he does get a break, I think about 18 months ago, he got injured, so he never managed to take on that opportunity. Nathan Holland. He's made 4 first team appearances for the club. I think he hasn't left yet, but for me, Nathan is so unlucky with injury. You can see what a good. I mean, I've watched lot of under 23 games. We do them at London State. We used to do them at London Stadium quite a bit, so I'd see him play. So exciting, such an exciting player, but I think now there's more and more people, he's going further down the pecking order, unfortunately. But Nathan Holland is number 99. Number 100, Charlie Walsh will be beside himself because the 100th player alphabetically to have played with Mark Noble is the big man himself, Big J, Jordan Hugel. Jordan Hugel gets the accolade of being the 100th player alphabetically to play with Mark Noble. 3 appearances, no goals, never walked out to the bubbles. Bless him. And I think Gonzo mentioned once in the video that even when he wasn't when he was on loan, but he was at QPR, if QPR hadn't weren't playing that day, he'd go and watch West Ham, but he'd not go to the corporates. He'd buy his own ticket and stuff. It's a shame with George, but he's obviously doing well at Norwich at the moment, so fair play to him. Maybe we'll see him up. Maybe he will walk out to the bubbles, but it'll be for the opposition at London Stadium if Norwich go up next season. And last but no means least, 101. He made 110 appearances for the club, 18 goals, 2 periods, another boomerang player, Deadly Don Hutchinson. Oh my, I love Deadly Don Hutchinson. Solid player, absolute quality wherever he's been. Went to, obviously it was at Rangers, it was at Liverpool, it was at Sunderland, he was at West Ham. Yep. He's beat other players. Sheffield United he was at. Millwall? I think he played for Millwall as well. Deadly Don, big fan. And obviously, he does a lot of commentary at West Ham anyway for the various broadcasters, so he's always still there. But he is number 101. So that's it. We put G and H together, and we're currently at 101. 101 players so far. So we're almost halfway. He says. So we've got, obviously, next week will be the probably we'll put I and J together. I and J, because there's only 2 I's. There's only 2 I's in West Ham. There's no I's in the there's only 2 I's who have played for West Ham. So we'll go through that in the next episode. But anyway, hope everyone is safe and well. Hope everyone has a lovely, hopefully this will go out during the Easter break. So I hope everyone has a lovely Easter holidays, all the kids and stuff, whatever. Take care, stay safe, wash those hands, come on you irons, and we'll see you again for the I and J's. Take care, everyone. Much love.